Time for Expert Picks, presented by FanDuel. Oh, I love the music, by the way. So festive. In the ever-changing landscape of sports television, the NFL's 2 Christmas Day games will be streamed on Netflix for the first time. The games will also air on CBS affiliates in Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Houston on regular cable and over-the-air TV. Kicking off our Week 17 slate, including games on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday this busy holiday season. And then we get to some best bets, which on Sundays, unfortunately, none of us are doing quite well. However, I'm hearing that Kyle and Chris have been pretty good with the picks, especially in the best bets department. Wow, 12-4, Kyle. What do you attribute the success of that to?
Luck.
Okay.
No, honestly, you know, there's just some teams that I feel like this week when I get to it, you just have a strong feeling. That's what a best bet's all about, man.
And he doesn't do dumb things like take the Bears plus the points last week, like an idiot.
That was tough.
Yeah.
But
That was
all about the vibes there for Kyle so far working.
I had to reach out to your drug and alcohol counselor to make sure that you weren't, you know, going off the wagon there.
Well, you know, my other choice, my other choice was going to be the Jets, and you're watching Jeff Ulbrich go for it every damn time.
Oh.
That was a good pick. See, every week I come back and I say, there's one good pick that I picked the right way and it went the wrong way. The Jets was the right pick.
You loved the Jets last weekend, but it's all about this week, guys. We got the Chiefs on a short turnaround. We got the Steelers here. KC, short road favorites. 2.5 is the number here. Kyle, since you've got that better record, I'll have you start off. What do you like in this game?
I love everything about the Kansas City Chiefs, and I feel like they have been getting healthy at the right time. They've made some really smart moves on the offensive line, kicking Joe Thuney out to left tackle, which has solved some of these issues. And I think you couple that with the receivers that are playing next to each other now with Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins. They have a legitimate offense. And we used to talk about Patrick Mahomes as just making it happen every week, and they're an amoeba. They have to change their identity. Well, now they have their identity. They've been able to run the football. They can throw the football now, protecting Patrick at a better clip. I just have a lot of faith in this offense, and add to the fact that Steve Spagnuolo in big games has more experience than anybody. If you look back over the course of the last decade, I trust the Kansas City Chiefs to handle this game on Christmas Day. Short week, less prep. Give me the better team.
I'm with you. I just think this Chiefs team, we haven't seen the best of them yet either. And they have one loss, and we haven't seen the best of them. And so we're going to start to. I think getting Brown going, getting Worthy going, big part of their offense. You can stretch a field now. It's not everything in a phone booth. And you mentioned Thuney moving to left tackle. He's done a great job over there. They're better offensively. The Steelers have concerns. What happened last week? Now, they had injuries in the secondary. I get it. But they had problems last week, and I think that's something that's going to show up. Russell Wilson also threw a terrible pick 6. I'll take the Chiefs.
George Pickens expected to play. Doesn't change your mind on KC still, guys, right?
Cold day. That hamstring can go quick.
Okay. Yeah. KC minus 2.5. Both are guys on Kansas City in that first game.
You think Spags isn't looking at Pickens?
I think he does, right? Yeah. Ravens and Texans, speaking of short turnaround, Houston, same thing for the Kansas City perspective. 5.5. Pete, Baltimore, you want to lay it or you want to grab the points with the home dog?
I'm going to take the Ravens. I think, again, we talked about the Texans earlier. I think the Texans have issues. I don't think the Ravens have many. And the one thing about the Ravens, they're getting better on defense. They were awful early in the year. They still don't rush the passer that well, which is a little bit of a concern. But I think they're going to go in there. Lamar's going to push again for the MVP. They're pushing for the division title as well. What are the Texans playing for, by the way? When you look at it, seriously, what are they playing for? They're not playing for anything.
Playing for health, probably?
The Ravens. Yeah. The Texans are where right now? They would be, what seed would they be?
The last division winner.
So they'd be 4. If you beat the Ravens are going to be what? Probably the 5.
If they don't win the division.
Right. Do you want to play them again?
No.
So let the Ravens win the game.
Beyonce is going to be in the building for this game. I watched Lamar say, he said, sorry, Coach Harbaugh, I will be leaving the locker room at halftime to watch Beyonce. Just by basic math here. So you tell me how I pick these games? Beyonce's in the building. Lamar Jackson's trying to make an MVP case. He's going to dominate in this
he's
football
going to
game.
go watch.
He says he's going to leave the locker room.
If he's down
what do you think about that?
Stay in the locker room.
Okay.
You can go see Beyonce anytime.
Okay.
Stay in the locker room.
Not in person. The Queen? Bay? Come on.
You can go see her concert. He's Lamar Jackson. He could probably roll.
She's in town to see the Ravens, though.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to learn why Kyle's doing so well. The vibes are good. The info is immaculate. I need to start maybe translating
at halftime, right?
There.
Yes.
Yeah. So stay in the locker room.
Both you guys are on the same side. Seahawks road favorites, a field goal and a hook against Kyle's Bears here. So what are you thinking here in this one?
Here's what I've seen from some leaders on the defensive side of the football on the Chicago Bears. If you go back and watch all the touchdowns that the Lions scored, of which there were many, TT, there was a lot of, I'm here, I'm not here, I'm not going to be in on that tackle. I have a lot of concerns about the Chicago Bears team as they currently stand. The Seahawks showed us this past week they can compete with anybody. Granted, they lost the football game to Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, the Minnesota Vikings. They're a tough group. They play really tough on defense. I fully anticipate them stymieing the Chicago Bears in the first half, like we've seen time and time again for the Chicago Bears. It is so frustrating to watch them have all their production in the second half. Mike McDonald, his defense, they're going to get after the Chicago Bears offense.
We got our headline for Chicago. Kyle Long, Bears quit.
I didn't say
Bears quit.
I said it kind of looks like, ooh.
Well, that's quitting.
What are the people with the bulls, the bullfighters?
Ole.
The Toro, the
Wait, that's
A lot
quitting.
of that.
Matador, the El Matador.
A lot of that.
When a guy doesn't tackle.
You know how to make me not say that? Go make a damn tackle.
Right.
Go put your nose on the defender's Vita's neck.
But what were you saying when they were not
Leave no
tackling?
doubt.
What were they saying? What are you saying when they quit? They quit. He called them quitters. We got our headline.
Didn't say
Chicago, come for your boy over here. He quit. And you know what?
Makes me sick.
When you watch the tape, there are a lot of guys that didn't want to tackle somebody.
Yep.
So that's not a good look. I was on the Bears as my best bet.
I thought the intensity of defense ramps up when you get closer to the goal line.
Yeah,
I thought there was a sense of pride being part of this vaunted monsters of the midway defense. Win, lose, or draw. Even if the sky is falling around you,
Tackle.
play with physicality, play with charisma. It's not what I've seen.
Yeah, well, there you go. Chicago has a headline, and I have the Seahawks as my winner because I went with the Bears last week.
And I love the
then
Bears.
Suffered through that.
Certainly trying to
You
get
called
them
him out.
aggregated that
You called him
on
out.
social media there, Pete Prisco.
Headline. Get it out there.
Your headline.
It's not
That's
my headline. He
unbelievable.
said
He
it.
loves to get you there. Right?
That's my guy.
Yeah, he is. Let's move on to a different game. That's going to be the Chargers and Patriots. L.A. laying about 4.5 here, and the Chargers, of course, trying to fight for that wild card spot. But they make that cross-country trip. It's in Foxborough. Patriots just played the Bills pretty tough. Pete Prisco, what are you thinking of this one?
Yeah, and they got the Bills in a good spot. The Bills were coming off an emotional victory, get back home. There was one of those games. You looked up, you're in a game, then you found a way to pull it out. This time, the Chargers are rested. They played last Thursday. It is a tough, long cross-country trip. It's going to be cold. We know the Chargers aren't, but this Chargers team is different. They're built a little bit more for the cold. They're physical. They haven't run it as well as I thought they would run it, but they are physical on the offensive line. I think they'll find a way to cover this. I'll take the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers here as well. To your point, long week, more prep. Tough matchup for the New England Patriots this past week against the Buffalo Bills. I like the Chargers in this one. Harbaugh's going to have his guys focused.
Sandwich game for the Patriots. They play the Bills,
Yeah.
Chargers, Bills. So
By the way,
not that they're in anything, but
Run game wasn't fantastic, but showed signs of life in that Bronco game on Thursday.
Dude, Rashawn Slater locked down on Nick Bonito.
Yeah.
When they needed a big explosive run, they went right behind their
was
rookie
better.
Joe Alt. It was like bing, bang, boom, head on the goalpost.
They're going to get back to that.
Okay. Speaking of the Broncos catching 3 against the Bengals, and I mean, offensively, the Bengals are just lighting it on fire with Burrow, Chase, and company, Pete. But when you're taking a look at this game, again, right around a field goal, teams that matter, of course, in terms of playoff hunt, what they want to do with positioning, how does it all play out?
This is a playoff game.
De facto playoff game you're talking about.
Yeah, because
yeah.
Bengals are done if they lose. If they win, then the pressure's on the Broncos. And the ironic thing about the whole situation is this. They have to root for the Steelers this week. That sounds crazy. Why are you rooting for the Steelers? Because you want the Chiefs to play in the final week of the season against Denver. If they can win their next 2, Denver loses, that's big for them. So as funny as it is, the Bengals are hoping they win, which I think they will, and they will cover. And they need the Steelers to beat the Chiefs this week, so the Chiefs play in the final week of the season.
For the 1 seed, that's what
Correct.
you're saying. So they have to play in week 18.
Correct.
Okay.
Otherwise, they might rest everybody, and the Broncos can win that game without Patrick Mahomes playing easily. So I think this is a big week in terms of rooting for the Steelers if you're a Bengals fan.
I'm not great with scenarios, but I understand that when your back's against the wall, you got to fight. And one guy who I trust in a fight on a football field is this guy, Joe Burrow. He can lead your offense. They've got a fantastic thing going on the offensive side of the ball. If they can just make a few stops. But it is in Cincinnati. We forget that Bo Nix is a rookie, as much as we've lauded him. And anytime you've got a quarterback against Joe Burrow, let alone a rookie quarterback, on the road, I'm going to be going with the Cincinnati Bengals in this one.
By the way, you ever get an authentic katana blade from a quarterback
That
before, like
was
Joe Burrow
so
gave out?
badass. All his guys. He said they like guns. I don't know anything about guns. I'll get you guys like a samurai sword.
So what do you do with it?
You put it on the wall, and you drink beers in front of it.
It's a good conversation starter, right?
And you
People
say,
walk in
nobody
and
touch it. Once we get through this 6-pack of beer, nobody goes up there to that wall.
Well, I'd rather have the car from Brock Purdy.
Car, that was good.
Practical Pete is what you have there. Instead of like,
Yeah.
hey, let's do shotguns and let's just slice open the can. And
Randy Jackson signed Katana.
I mean, now, if somebody came into the house or something and broke in, you might need that sword.
Get Steven Seagal that thing. All right, let's get to Cardinals and Rams. Arizona would have been in a position to make this kind of a playoff game, but of course they fell at Carolina in overtime here. The line's 5.5. Kyle, what do we think?
Why don't you get on Kyler Murray for crying?
Huh?
Where's the VO for Kyler Murray crying? We're making fun of all these crying quarterbacks. No, you know, it's a shame what's happened to the Arizona Cardinals, because there was a certain point in the season where we pointed to Kyler Murray and this offense as being so dangerous, so dynamic. Kyler Murray could have played his way into the MVP conversation, you know, if we're being honest, if they kept winning ball games. But he hasn't. That hasn't been the case. The LA Rams are one of the hottest teams in football right now. I love Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, and these guys. They've been in the building watching film since 4 in the morning. I got the Rams.
The crying as it relates to Kyler Murray is all the Cardinals fans watching him the last 4 weeks of the season. He's been awful, and just hasn't worked out for him. And so I think when you look at this, well, they were a fun little story for a while, and they overachieved. Let's give the coaching staff some credit. You look at the roster; they're not very good on defense in terms of the talent. There's a lot of young defensive players there. They'll get better, but they're not ready yet. They do have a lot of money to go out and fix things next year. This is not a good spot for them. You look at the Rams; they haven't scored the last 2 weeks. Both games, they've had trouble scoring.
Defense has been nice.
Yeah,
been good.
But they haven't scored. They're going to score in this one against that Cardinals defense. I think that the Rams roll here.
All right, Arizona, those 2 games with Seattle really hurt them. They had a chance to make some headway off a bye. Only scored, what, 6 points? Then 2 out of 3 games at their place couldn't get it done. All right, we'll take a break here on HQ. But a reminder about what we do here. News, highlights, and scores. It's all here, and the best part is, folks, it's all free. Josh Allen and the Bills can tie a franchise record with their 13th win on Sunday, and they'll be favored by nearly double digits to do so against the Jets. Time to continue the expert picks presented by FanDuel. These are the games on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. 3 in the early window and the lone game at 4:05 Eastern. In the AFC, 5 of the 7 playoff berths have been unlocked. Kansas City clinching home field with a lone first-round bye with the win or tie against the Steelers on Christmas Day, or if the Bills lose or tie against the Jets in Orchard Park.
What network are those on?
CBS.
There you go. That's an honor of Chris Hassel.
Is it?
Can you do it? Can you do his whistle?
Oh, no.
CBS.
He does it with a little side
He
of the
makes
mouth.
me try every time. I sound like an idiot.
CBS.
Yeah. Shout out to Hass.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, we're going to hear from Hash, actually, in our best bet segment, but that's a tease that we'll have to wait for. Coming up. I'm intrigued, y'all, right? Okay.
All right.
Stick around. But we got a couple more games to talk about here. I mentioned the scenario in the AFC where, again, the Chiefs are on prime position and pole position. Buffalo's got to take care of business. Again, they played a tight game. They were favored by 14.5 against the Patriots, won by 3 after being down double digits, Kyle. It's 9.5 against the Jets in this one. How does it play out?
You know what's crazy? At the beginning of the year, we sat here and I looked at Pete Prisco in the eyes and I was dead serious. I said, if the Jets can beat the Bills on the road, they're going to run the table in the AFC East. It's a 9.5-point spread. I got the Buffalo Bills in this one. And I fully believe that we didn't get this, you know, they didn't pull out all the stops this past week against the New England Patriots. They will not allow Aaron Rodgers and the Jets to do what they want to do with them. I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, they were flat. They started that game flat. They're not going to be flat 2 weeks in a row. Coming off that Lions win, they were a little flat. This week they'll be back. By the way, they will know by the time they kick this off if they control their destiny. So if you're the Jets, you better hope that the Steelers don't win that game.
Don't let Mitch Trubisky out there.
But I think either way, the Bills take care of business here. I think Josh Allen is back on track on his MVP push and has a big game.
By the way, Aaron Rodgers dealing with a bit of a knee injury issue here, so if there's more clarity about his injury.
He got
leak
hurt
out
on
the
his
10 or
interception,
more.
I think.
You saw that. You said he was hurt, but then he came back in.
Yeah.
What do you call that, Pete, when that usually happens?
A fakie? What did I call it that day?
Stop.
He called it. He's like, oh, little Rodgers, he's not good. And then he went back on the field. And
yeah, I told you, I said that's one of those where they fake it after they throw an interception, then they come back.
That he was hurt.
That's funny because we went up like 18 or 21 at Lambeau. Do you remember this? In like 2018, week 1, it was Khalil Mack's first game. He must have had 4 sacks, a touchdown, forced fumble. Aaron Rodgers goes into the facility. He comes back out. He's smiling during his halftime interview, and then he just throttles us in the second half. So never count that guy out.
No, I wasn't counting him out. I'm just saying he made the knee injury look like it was and he didn't even go into the tent. So.
Okay. You said Buffalo in a flat spot. Was Tampa Bay in a flat spot, or just playing a really good Dallas team? Because now they're 7.5-point favorites against Carolina. But again, that positioning in the NFC South was a big hit for them.
The weird thing about that game to me is the defense didn't show up. I mean, I thought the defense started to come around a little bit, getting guys back, and they were not good. I mean, they didn't really pressure the quarterback. When they did blitz, they got blocked. It just wasn't a good showing. Maybe they were flat. It was back-to-back road games. That's tough to do. You play a team on Sunday night at their place, and now you're back home. I still think they're in a great spot. They played two teams. They should beat both of them, and if Washington beats Atlanta, then I think they win the division. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay here.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay as well. But then you got to think about, wasn't it Juba Hubbard that fumbled with an opportunity for them to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just about a month ago, maybe less than that. So you hope for the Carolina Panthers fans and the team that they have that in mind. You know, we can beat these guys. We can play neck to neck, toe to toe with them. But it's Baker Mayfield. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm on them this week.
And if they don't fumble late in that game, I think they go get the winning field goal, and we're not even having this.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Our guys at Sportsline, by the way, actually project the Bucks to win the division over the Falcons. It's like 60-40, 55-45, that type of thing. But again, they'll have to take care of business first and foremost against Carolina and Bryce Young. All right, let's get to a game. Do we really want to talk about it? Yeah, we kind of have to, right? Raiders and Saints. Yeah, can we? Or spend 30 seconds or less, whatever you want to do.
When two
wrongs don't make a right?
No, no, the lesson early in the year I had, when two crappy, stinky teams play each other, the lesson is take the home team.
Okay.
Because the other one has to travel. So, and you put it a different way, but
we're both on the Saints.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we had like Jets, Jags 2 weeks ago, and then Jags, Raiders last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take the home team.
Take the Saints.
Take the home team.
The fans matter.
Think they can score a point this time? They did Lambeau, by the way.
You don't want to be there if you're traveling.
They practiced it in a refrigerator last
That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
All right, let's get to Cowboys and Eagles. Philly laying 9.5 against the Cowboys. Kyle, you want to lay it or you want to grab it?
The number here, 9.5, tells me Jalen Hurts has been able to match the shapes on the computer in the training room, you know, because that's what they do for the protocol. They're like, you know, which shape doesn't mix and match. The concussion was bad, obviously. Him getting out of the game affects that team immensely. But I'm going to pick the Eagles in this one because the 9.5 tells me they're expecting Jalen Hurts to be back.
And it wasn't the offense that was the problem. They scored their points. It was the defense. I think the defense will respond here. I think they were embarrassed a little bit by what happened. 5 touchdown passes. That's never a good look. They will respond here. I think they'll shut down Cooper Rush and that Cowboys offense. I'll take the Eagles minus the points as well.
Let's get to Colts and Giants. Indy on the road laying about a touchdown and a half. Jonathan Taylor might have heard that you were fading him in our same game parlay on Sunday to the tune of 200
I got even.
plus
I made him fumble on the goal line.
Yeah.
You did 2 weeks ago against Denver. They're still in the playoff hunt.
He was phenomenal the other day, and again, he's going to be phenomenal here because he's playing a JV team. I think he runs through the Giants. I think the Colts will win this game going away. I think they win it big.
Yeah, I got the Colts as well. I mean, the things they can do on the offensive side of the ball, controlling the clock, being able to run the football a number of different ways. Shane Steichen, a great coach, and Anthony Richardson, less is more, dude. You know, I just want him to run the football as much as possible. If I'm an O-lineman, I say, go run it. Let's be part of this physical offense, man.
Plus, the Giants have got the call. They got the call.
Stand down.
Don't you dare win a game. Don't you dare win a game.
Okay. You guys have been pretty harmonious in a lot of picks, but this last one we could be quick.
That means he's going in the toilet.
This last one could be quick because it's another game. Titans, Jags. Jags laying the 1.5. Pete Prisco, you going hometown discount?
Again, garbage at home. Team on the road, garbage team, go on the road, you lose. I'll take the Jaguars here.
They got a hot tub at the Jaguar Stadium,
It's
right?
a pool.
I want to go in that thing.
No, you don't. That thing...
And I'll bet the Titans all day from that damn hot tub. Give me the Titans in this game.
Okay.
Like
Finally, a tiebreaker if it comes down to it with these two guys. We'll hit another break here on HQ, but a reminder again of the 4-game slate we have on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus, 3 in the early window, and of course Dolphins Browns at 4:05 Eastern.
I'd wear jeans in the hot tub and boots.
Packers and Vikings. Green Bay coming off that exciting and dominant performance over the Saints. It should be a good one in division. We continue our expert picks presented by FanDuel. A look at the late afternoon slate. Dolphins nearly a touchdown favorites over the Browns. That one on CBS. Packers Vikings expected to be nearly a coin flip. Minnesota laying that 1.5. Back here with Kyle Long and Pete Prisco. I'm Tommy Tran. Let's get to Dolphins and Browns, who, with their win, Pete, over the Niners, 8.6% chance to still make it to the postseason. They got to get this win. Do they cover this number as well?
What's the percent that they win a game in the cold weather?
Not great under Mike McDaniel.
Well, this is it hasn't been very good, but this is a bad Browns team right now. And I think with Miami playing for something, what we saw out of Miami last week, they ran the football. That's something they hadn't done very well this year. They ran it well. They got their offensive lineman back, and it showed. I'm going to take Miami here. They're still alive, barely, but they are still alive. I think that matters. I'll take the Dolphins.
All my usual reasoning I had to throw out the window for this one, because it's going to be colder than 60 degrees. And, I've played in Cleveland. It's a brutal place to play. But at the end of the day, to his point, Cleveland not very good right now. The quarterback situation maybe even worse. I'm going to be taking Mike McDaniel in this group that ran the ball effectively. But they're going to have to throw the ball quickly to keep Myles Garrett and that defensive line off of their quarterback.
They're going to have to win 2 cold weather games to have a chance.
All right.
I mean, we'll see.
Fins up. Let's go to Packers and Vikings. 1.5. Kyle, Mr. NFC North, how's it playing out?
Well, I saw he picked the Packers, so I went the Vikings. I hate both these teams, being an NFC North guy, but I got to give them their flowers. They've been fantastic, and we're just lucky to see that this game is happening this week. It's just awesome.
I thought you hated the teams because
I hate the Lions the most.
There's 3 teams going to the playoffs in that division, and the 4th one ain't. And what's the 4th one? Oh, that's the team that didn't tackle anybody last week, the Chicago Bears. I'll take the Packers here. I love the different styles that they play with. They can beat you physically, they can throw it around, and I think this is a great spot for them. I think they go up there and win the game.
You guys alluded to it. Quick recap, though. Falcons, Commanders both go in Washington.
Commanders.
I'm going Commanders. I think that Jaden Daniels is on to something.
And Penix on the road. That's the biggest thing.
First road start is always tough for any quarterback.
But at least he gets one under his belt, though.
The conversation starter is Jaden Daniels, and then you add to that.
Okay.
Then you add to the paragraph rookie quarterback, first road game.
Right. And yeah, he had a start under his belt, but it's still on the road. He doesn't have one of those on his belt, and you know how
Dan Quinn
is that real? Is that a real thing? I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, at least they get him the Giants at home, game reps, and now again on the road. I get that, but
tougher.
It matters.
It matters.
It matters. And Washington, with a football team or without a football team, is a hard place to play. With the way that they're playing right now with their quarterback, that place is rocking.
Yep.
Lions, a field goal and a half against the Niners. Again, when the season had started, boy, we were talking about potential 1 seed. Detroit's held up its end of the bargain. Pete, San Francisco, not so much.
I'm going to take the Niners here. I just think they're a prideful franchise. They're not playing for anything. I think being back home, the Lions defense is banged up. The Lions are playing consecutive road games. They have a big one the next week. I think this is a good spot for the Niners. I'll take the Niners.
Don't the Lions have to win out in order to maintain that seed?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, I think Dan Campbell's going to say, do not allow this to be a letdown game. Do not look back in the rearview mirror at the end of this football season and said, man, that won in San Francisco. Because what was it last year in the NFC Championship? It was the Detroit Lions fumbling the ball as a team to lose to San Francisco while they were up 3 possessions. They are not going to allow that to happen again. I got the Lions in this one.
Look at their coach and blame him for that one.
Can do
and
that.
Here's the other thing. Maybe they'll come up with a play where somebody trips and they throw a touchdown pass. Fake trip.
He hated that, dude.
Could be also one of Jared Goff's last outdoor games. Only had 3 in the regular season all year. If they hold the bargain 1 seed, it's always in the Ford Field Dome.
Yeah. If they
he threw that outdoor stuff out the window last week in Chicago.
He pretty good, yeah. Little triplet.
He played well. He played well. Mine was a loser. Rotten.
Speaking of best bets, Prisco's picks with FanDuel. Those best bets haven't been great.
All these Kyle's picks. Mine are so bad.
Chris Hassel, 7 straight to creep up on Kyle Long.
Way to go, Hass.
Yeah, Hassel, by the way.
It just goes to show you that how luck is really a factor in all of this.
But your record is, as they say,
who you are.
Hey, sometimes you get used to eating filet mignon, you forget what moldy bread tastes like. Well, Chris Hassel's been working his way up, eating that moldy bread, and he's happy to be up at the top.
And now he's eating filet mignon.
Hass kind enough to join in on the mix here, guys. Here's Chris Hassel with his pick.
'Twas the day before Christmas, and producer Jack just woke me from my slumber at my in-laws' house in Iowa because he needs a pick from the hottest handicapper in the country. I'm going Christmas Day, Steelers, plus 2.5 at home against the Chiefs. It's a lock. Happy holidays. I'm going back to sleep.
I don't think Chris has shaved since he's been with you guys.
Well, he looks like really tired, so he must have only got 12 hours of
Chris,
sleep.
blink twice if you need us to get you out of
Instead
there.
of his usual 14 hours of sleep, because Chris sleeps more than any human being in America.
Yeah.
And then, what about the M&Ms as part of the Christmas decoration?
I did notice
They do
that.
weird stuff in Iowa.
Iowa, loose meat
Loose meat
sandwiches
sandwich.
and M&M.
M&M on the
Decor.
good decoration. I mean, look, I'm not going to fight. Like, could you get hungry? You want some M&Ms?
He's trying to get a rise out of me picking the Steelers. He knows I'm in on the Chiefs.
Right.
But that being said, Chris has had a historic run here at the
He
end
really
of the
is.
year.
7 in a row. You can't. I mean,
He's like the LA Rams.
yeah, but he might be like the Iowa football team now that he's back in Iowa and go rotten. So
you got to hold on to your lead. How do you do that? What's your best bet?
I do it betting on the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, Ben Johnson, and this Lions team going on the road and handling business. I mean, this is a movie they've seen before. And the first iteration of the movie was they had a letdown in the second half of that game against the Niners. It's not going to happen this week. Best bet, Detroit Lions on the road.
fake injured. What's that play called? Fake injured.
Stumble bum? Is that what they called it?
Stumble bum.
By the way, on Sundays, I do a Tommy teaser or Tommy two legs, but since I get to be here midweek with you guys, I'm going off script. I'm going off brand.
What?
Single
No Tommy
game
teaser?
play.
Single game?
Just one play. And I'm playing the total. Chargers, Patriots, under 43.5. I think it'll be low scoring. Chargers have hit the under the last 4 road games. They're running the ball a little bit more, so I think it's going to be under in Foxborough.
So that's a
on
guarantee they're going to get into the 60s in that game.
Sunday. What do you got, Pete? What do you got to match this stuff?
I got the Packers. Win the game outright. Don't need any points. I'm not taking them on the money line. I'm taking the points, but I'm taking the Packers. I think they're the better team. I think they're going to go show the Vikings, and they're going to solve that Brian Flores blitz look.
You run right at it.
Damn right.
Yeah.
They're going to physically get after them and run the football.
That's one thing we can agree on.
Producer pick is Steelers money lines. Their team hassle.
So everybody follows Chris, huh? Chris is giving out key releases.
Self-proclaimed hottest handicapper in America.
You don't do that.
He didn't look like the hot. He looked like a dead handicapper. He was like this. I mean, what's the matter with him? I know it was probably 12 degrees.
He's
in
malnourished.
Iowa.
That's never the hassle that you see. The glasses,
Go
the
eat a loose
beard.
meat sandwich. Get some
Go have a
protein.
couple loose meats.
Get some protein. He's supposed to bring us some back, by the way.
Here's a look at the best bet recaps. Kyle on the Lions, Pete on the Packers. I've got the under, and Chris going with the Steelers, and the producer going the same, taking plus money with the win. All right, time to say goodbye. But that was fun, guys. Thanks for letting me
That
fill
was.
in.
Thanks,
Trying
man.
to
Good to
figure
see
out
you.
why
Good to be back with
producers
you. I haven't been back in 3 months. I've been with him every Sunday, though. That's
Took the money
Big
line.
Daddy in the
Why
building.
would you take the money line? You could get points. You didn't need to take the money line. You don't get it. We don't
plus
get
money.
We don't get any more from picking the
Well,
one
we
with
don't
plus
know.
money.
The bettors do.
Okay.
So there you
And
go.
get on that Commanders game, too, because that rookie on the road stuff matters. And Jaden Daniels is a freak show.
Yep.
Happy holidays.